reactions, but at this juncture, he's fired. And Paul gets rocked by Woodley. He held on to the rope.
What up? If you stayed up last night and watched that disappointing fight and you thought it was fixed, let me tell you why it wasn't fixed, okay? Let me just start off by saying I'm going to try my best not to talk shit about Woodley or Jake Paul, okay? I'm going to try to keep this purely factual. I might throw in something here or there, but that's not my style. Not in my videos anyways, on my social media or whatever, but in these videos I like to keep it factual, right? So if you've watched Woodley in the UFC over the last, 4 or 5 years, you know his huge problem is inactivity.
Sometimes you have those fights in octagon where you feel like it's a bad dream. You want to throw punches.
He throws 1 or 2 big shots, but ultimately all we ever say is, man, this dude's punch shy. That's been like that. The dude lost like 25 rounds straight, bro. Like, not only that, he's closer to 40 years old. He's in phenomenal shape, but I just don't think psychologically, I just don't think he's there anymore. And you could even make the argument that the ones that he did win by knockout in the past, it was kind of just like, if those knockout shots didn't land, how would that fight have looked? But whatever. Let's actually talk about the actual fight. To me, I think the game plan might have been a little bad. I think how Woodley trained might have been based on what he saw Jake Paul do in his previous fights. The problem with that is Jake Paul was fighting people that either weren't going to fight back or weren't going to hit hard enough for it to matter, right? So Jake Paul was always pressing forward. He would jab, and he would put a lot on that too, right? Because he would step into it. They should have known he wasn't going to do that against Woodley. Woodley hits hard, bro. Like, Jake Paul was scared. Like, straight up, he was scared, bro. Like, which is okay. You know, you're scared. You're not really a boxer. It's his 4th fight ever. He was pedaling backwards the whole time, you know. So I think that might have thrown Woodley up. I think they planned for him to be going forward. And so I think he was hoping, that they were going to trade shots and his right hand was going to beat Jake's right hand. Horrible game plan. Honestly, the reason Jake Paul won is because he threw more jabs. Plain and simple. Everyone knows it's the most fundamental part of boxing, but even like actual professional boxers, for some reason, forget that they need to jab. For both of these fighters, every time, like literally every time they threw a jab, not only was it almost always successful, when Tyron Woodley actually threw a jab, he connected. And he has so much power and explosiveness that, Jake would fucking close his eyes and put his hands up, which would allow Tyron to either land a body shot.
Jake Paul looking to go 4-0 as a pro boxer.
Or he went up top that one time. But Tyron Woodley just wasn't jabbing. Like, you're a shorter fighter. Jake Paul's keeping his distance away from you. Yeah, you landed one right hand, but you can't just load up and throw right hands because he's taller. And he's backpedaling. Like, the chances of it landing are just small, So for both of them, like I said, even with Jake Paul, when he threw a jab, it was successful. To the body or up top.
The fifth. Paul looking to bounce. A 3-point lead.
It made Woodley react, and then Jake Paul could follow it up. He wasn't really trying to follow nothing up, like I said, because he was scared of that power. But ultimately, Jake Paul did what he needed to do. As sad as that is to say, he did what he needs to do. He stayed away from Woodley. He jabbed enough to keep Woodley honest and not just like coming in crazy. What Woodley needed to do is he needed to jab more, and he just needed to take more risk, man. Like, you can't. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna get into my opinion, but it's a fight. You got to take risk to win. Like, plain and simple. Like, that's all it is. So, no, it wasn't rigged. If you think it was rigged, I need a really good argument as to why you think it was rigged. I do think that was some sucker shit that he was doing at the end, like begging for the rematch and saying he was going to get his name tatted. But I still don't think it was fixed. I've watched fighting enough to know when somebody's really fighting for it. Like I said, Jake Paul was, backpedaling the whole time. If it was fixed, at some point he would have gone forward because he wouldn't have been legitimately scared about getting knocked out because it's a fix, right? Nah, bro. I know what fear looks like, bro. I do think also that Jake Paul thought he was going to have an easier time. Like, not fixed. I just think he thought he was that much better than him at boxing. I really don't think he sparred. If you fought before, if you're watching this and you fought before, you know on fight nights your legs feel heavy. They feel like shit. It's almost every fucking time. Like, that's a normal thing. If you spar a lot, if you sparring with bangers, your legs feel heavy. The only time your legs don't feel heavy is when you're shadow boxing, when you're doing some tech sparring where you're not in danger. But, like, that's just, I don't know how to describe it to someone that hasn't fought, but that's a normal thing. So the fact that, like 10 times, he's like, I don't know what's wrong with my legs. Like, my legs felt like shit. My legs were heavy. I'm like, this dude's he's never done any real sparring before. He wasn't prepared. Honestly, even though Tyron Woodley is the more athletic person, hit harder, honestly, like me being 100% honest, as much as I hate Jake Paul actually could have beat him worse if he wasn't so scared. If he would have jabbed more and he wasn't like just straight up backpedaling the whole time, like Woodley wasn't gonna get active. Like, he just wasn't. So Jake could have actually picked him apart if he wasn't so fucking tired. I thought he was gonna like fall over in one of the rounds from exhaustion. But anyways, I don't want this to be like a 20-minute video. If you know me, you know I love boxing, so I watched it as an actual fight. As crazy as all the theatrics and stuff was, I really watched it. You know, I wanted Woodley to win, but I still watched it as a regular fight. Actually, the undercard was really good. I'm not gonna go into it, but shit, man, any of those fights should have been the fucking main card. Like, they had some good boxing on there, man. Montana Love, he a fake ass Adrian Broner, but I like that dude, man. Like, if he can calm the theatrics down, that dude can be really good, man. I know that's a part of his style and shit, but he need to finish the fight instead of showboating and stuff. Anyways, thanks for watching. Everyone's always asking me to actually do boxing videos because I only talk about boxing on my other social media. So I'll try to do some more boxing stuff. I don't really want this to be like a straight up boxing channel. But maybe after the big fights, maybe I'll start doing a review of the stuff I saw, just for people that don't really watch boxing, all right? So, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Peace.